Pressure, steps up in the pocket, throws deep, and a touchdown for the Panthers.
Chance here for Ende to end this set, and she does it.
Take it all the way for the stop.
Welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script. As promised, we are joined by Heather Lyke, the athletic director at Pitt. Thanks very much for being here. I have to ask you before we get started, what has it been like managing an athletic department through a pandemic?
Some people have described it as joyless. In many ways, just because we miss so much of what we're doing, which is the excitement around a game and the fans and the donors and people coming and the interactions with humans, you know? I mean, that's what we miss the most. But I will say it's been inspiring too. The amount of work, the amount of teamwork, the amount of initiative that people took, that just, you know, how do we get this done mentality, being curious about making it work. And so I was inspired because the reality is we all learned to adapt in ways that we never thought we could. We hope we never have to do again. But we did adapt and make the best of a really tough situation and try to pick one another up and look for the best in what we were doing. But we missed the really fun part of it, I would say.
But I'm sure you're proud of your department pulling through something like this that has dragged on, I think, longer than a lot of people maybe anticipate.
Oh, no question. I remember when we flew back from the ACC Tournament, the men's basketball tournament, as it got shut down in Greensboro. I think my chancellor said, Heather, this could last a while. And I kept thinking, oh, like to the summer? And he's like, no, I'm concerned about football season. And, so it was daunting in the sense of how long it has lasted. But I'm so proud of our athletic department. And really the collegial feeling of the ACC, how we came together, how we worked together and developed plans and protocols in place so we could play as many games as we could in as safe a way as possible. I'm really proud of the coaches for, wearing masks and just adapting to social distance, watching film, how we travel, how we eat, all those sorts of things. And then to the student athletes, the reality is they did what they needed to do. And whether it was working out, conditioning, running, training, competing, they really, really were impressive. And I think the ability to adapt is probably the greatest skill that we all learn.
Can you update us on the renovations going on at the Peterson Sports Complex?
Yeah, so that was one of the best things that happened during the pandemic. Thanks to really Cliff Rao and PJ Dick, the construction company that really continued on and allowed us to finish off that project. We finished the third floor, added a third floor to the Peterson Sports Complex, and then completely renovated the first and second floors. And it is the home of baseball and softball, men's and women's soccer, and women's lacrosse now. So we did an addition to make room for women's lacrosse, locker room, and coaches' offices. And it is the most gorgeous view, downtown to the left, the pitch straight ahead, the campus to the right. It's one of the best views in all of Oakland.
We go the top corner. Oh my goodness, what a goal. And what a game. Pitt back on top.
Here's a ball for Dexter in space, left-footed, crossing it over for Pepperack, and it's in there. A goal for Pittsburgh.
Well, some programs are really excelling right now. The men's soccer team is grabbing headlines, but the women's soccer team has a record number of wins under their belt as well. Can you talk about both of those programs?
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to brag a little bit, and I'm completely biased because I would say that we have the two best soccer coaches, men's and women's soccer coaches in the country. And we do. Jay Vidovich and on the men's side and Randy Waldrum on the women's side are extraordinary. They've won at the highest level in previous stops. They've played in Final Four games. They've won national championships. And so they absolutely know what it takes to build a program and then sustain it. And so the men's program's a couple years ahead of the women's program just because of the timing when Jay got here versus when Randy got here. But it is unbelievable, just the transformation in both of those programs. The accountability, the expectations, the level of play, the level of competitiveness, the type of recruits that we're getting. They know what it takes to how to build a program. And they're really soccer junkies, if you will. the impact that these coaches are having is significant.
And meanwhile, we can say the same thing about the volleyball team. This split season, we talked to Coach Fisher about that in last week's show. Very difficult, but the spring season has been unbelievable.
Yeah, it's so interesting how maybe the rest, maybe the time to reflect, maybe the time to study and figure out the team certainly has been good for us. And they have come out in the spring really knowing, really focused, having a better sense. They had a number of changes in the off-season last year, and so new personnel, how we're going to manage that. And so I think they've done a tremendous job, and obviously they're getting ready to head into the NCAA tournament now and play some games and see how far we can go, which would be great.
It will be great. And baseball, too, I can't forget about them. Last year it looked like, boy, this is a team that's turning the corner. Then the pandemic shuts down the season. Well, this year, I think validation that they've turned the corner.
Yeah, Coach Bell, a coach who's played at the highest level and coached at the highest level, won national championship as a player and as an assistant coach, absolutely has this unbelievable demeanor about him, quiet confidence, just absolutely knows what he's doing. He took over the pitching this year, and everything in the mound's been going really extremely well. They're hitting well. It's just a great program, and they have a confidence about them. They're the underdogs, and now everybody's worried about coming to Pittsburgh to play baseball. So
that is great to
so it's good.
Great to see, yeah, for sure. And then football spring game coming up, and there's going to be some fans in attendance.
There are, thankfully, and so we're excited just to have families and fans come. We have 5,000 fans coming to Heinz Field next Saturday, and opportunity to see our team, and a lot of familiar faces, but a lot of new people as well. So a week later than we originally planned, but that's okay. It'll be maybe a little warmer too. So
many teams excelling, Heather, as we wrap this up, and so many exciting things happening with the, we talked about the Peterson Sports Complex, other things that are happening around the campus. Do you have a message to Pitt fans out there as we get ready for a summer and hopefully to return to some sort of normalcy in the fall?
Well, first of all, the support during the pandemic, the understanding of what everybody was going through. I'm grateful for all the donors and people out there that do support and follow Pitt athletics. There hasn't been a day that our team has not worked hard to make everybody proud, and I think that the internal support of the coaching staff, the belief in what they're building, everything takes time, and you've got to do it the right way. And we see bits of this success, and I'm confident that it becomes contagious. As volleyball starts, winning multiple ACC championships, then soccer's in the hunt, and now women's soccer's in the hunt, and baseball's making the road, and so it's going to filter. And so I appreciate everybody's patience. Know that we care deeply about our student athletes' experience. And making it extraordinary here at Pitt.
Well, what a way to finish up the season. Heather Lyke, thanks very much for coming on. Sure appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Rob. Hail to Pitt.
And thanks to you for watching another season of Pitt Beyond the Script.